All right. So, okay. So, finally I'm just doing this shit because months ago I had on this same shirt and hat, like pretty much the same fit, and I was trying to start doing my whole like little book review YouTube channel kind of thing. And I was so focused on like the entire aspect of I'm thinking in production wise more so than I was thinking in just the pure creation wise and being myself. And I can see how in life as well as in creation, well, life is creation. Uh, that shit could just deter you from actually just doing what you want to do. So when I put this outfit on today, or actually I woke up with this shirt on because I took a shower and went to sleep and had the shirt on, and I was about to go to the gym. I just threw this on, put this hat on. I was like, oh shit, I had already wore this before, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and record this shit. This is the intro video to me creating videos, but it's not about me creating a YouTube video or a book review video. That's not what none of this shit really is about. Really is really about for me. Um, and I knew that from the beginning. Yet, like I said, I was just still focused on the production aspect and me thinking too far ahead and me thinking about after the video was done and how I want to see myself or and how I want people to see me. And I recognized like that's not the type of person I am. That's not even how I like to live. I catch myself living that way sometimes, and I recognize that that's when I'm not being my truest self, and that's when I dislike life the most, when I'm thinking like that. But anytime I'm just in pure flow and just living my life and within my purpose and being myself and learning and growing from there and creating from there, that's when life is all peachy and all good. Not just all good, but that's when life, even in this terrible times, it's like it actually feels lived. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm going from here on out. So I'm going to start it from here. I feel like fucking like Wayne in '06 with the lighter flicks, lighting my incense. You know what I'm saying? And this is just because it smells good. It's not because I'm on some like, ooh, I'm like incense because I'm so zen and the Buddha here. This motherfucker just catches ashes, my nigga. Um, but no disrespect to anybody's joint. I'm not in that way. But I call anything and anyone a motherfucker. But so what was my frame of mind when I came to sit down to do this? It's pretty much the whole frame of mind of just this whole book thing and reviewing, which is not what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be reviewing books more say. I'm just going to be kind of talking about the books that I'm reading or have read and I'm reading again. So for me, it's like reading is beyond just like trying to capture the stories and stuff like that. Let me put this over here because she's getting a little intense. Oh shit. Hold on a second. See, if that was a Spliffington, that would mean somebody fucking my bitch. But I don't got no bitch, so it's not real. Uh, but the whole reading situation, right, for me, and what really sparked my mind to get to recording about it is firstly that it's shit that I want to see on the internet. It's shit that I go look up on the books that I read that I either find or most times I don't find when I'm looking up like, oh, I just want to see in conversation in the forum people chatting about a book that I've read, right? And also people not only like myself simplistically in race or something like that, but in my demographic, you know what I mean? And in an interesting way as well. Because people be so like hoity-toity about shit when it comes to books and literature as the art itself. Like it's like all this like, like, oh, I'm a scholarly reader and all this shit like that. And they just be so uninteresting. But at the same time, they're just as uninteresting as people that don't read as well. You know what I mean? And that was another driver. Like it's like a weird dichotomy of like the people that do read sometimes can be like these assholes and like these very uninteresting people, even though they have. And also the books that they read are pretty shitty too. I'm not gonna lie, because the books that I'm not saying all the books that I read are the most amazing things in the world, but maybe it's the art in which they go about the literature that they take in. I don't know. But that's something to be discovered over time. It's gonna make more sense as I grow and articulating my ideas when it comes to this art form that is literature, right? Because it is an art. Like, just as much as painting is an art, just as much as film is an art, just as much as music is an art. It's an art that's kind of underappreciated, especially in these times, because you have to take your time with it, as you should any art, honestly. Not only do you have to take your time with the creation of a book and actually pour yourself and your soul into it, you have to take the time to actually sit with it and digest it as well. And I believe that that's one of the bigger losses. That the way that's the word. That's not the word I want to say, but that's one of the bigger problems I see these days with folks on a daily basis, is that they don't take their time with much. You know what I mean? They don't take their time in conversation. They don't take their time in relations with people. May they be intimate, familial, friendship, or whatever it may be. People are not taking their time to sit with something, to go through it, to go back again, to reread again, to have that conversation again. It's okay to have a conversation more than once, by the way, like, and to really get to the depths of understanding. The same way, like, it's okay to read something more than once. It's okay to watch a movie more than once. People do that all the time. But imagine reading a book more than once. Imagine rereading a chapter again that you just read, but it's like you didn't really understand that, or like you just something must have slipped. You forgot which character was who. You forgot what who was narrating it, what point of view it was being told from, right? And you can translate that over to just actual communication in life, and the way you're interacting with life as well. And like, as I said before, I feel like that's something that's lost with people. And not only is it sad, it's getting very fucking annoying at the same time too, when I communicate with people and just out and about. Not that I'm the best communicator, not that I'm the most interesting motherfucker in the world. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that, like, bro, I like to take my time with stuff, take it in. It don't mean I'm slow. I'm still sharp. I can still move fast. Got the gift of gab. I talk fast. You know what I mean? All that. But even when I'm poised and moving slow, things are clicking really fast, faster than the average person would take things in, I want to say. And it's like, I'm saying that to say, it's like, I think people should get back to reading, but I also think school did a number on people, even in my time frame, and especially now with younger people. Older people was more part of the culture, I like to say, of reading, because they had less distractions, but they also were just more real. They were real people then as well. They were outside. They were doing things. Everything wasn't pacified. Everybody wasn't sensitive as fuck either, right? And that's another thing about reading too. You'll read some things that are uncomfortable. You'll read great literature from people who you probably wouldn't like in real life, but you can still learn something from them. You know what I mean? And they still know how to articulate their points of view that you may not agree with. And I find a lot of people have trouble communicating, and are so sensitive because they don't know, like a child sometimes. And this ain't saying children aren't smart, but a lot of reasons why children get emotional and aggravated is because they can't articulate their ideas. They can't communicate them in the way that in which they feel, right? And that just takes time and growth. But there's also adults that don't have that skill either. They're feeling all these ways. They feel they don't agree with things that are said, but they haven't taken the time to learn how to articulate themselves, to learn how to hold two opposing views in one mind, synthesize that, live with it, and then go ahead, then go about speaking on it. Like, you got to live with it first too. You know what I mean? A lot of these things that's coming on, or that's been happening in the world, is like everything is so instant, where idea comes to mind, disagreements or whatever you may have within yourself, and you automatically just spewing it out on everybody in every which way. That's not how shit go. Sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And again, I feel like all these things are exercised through the art that is literature, where you gotta take your time and you gotta meditate on something. You gotta sit with a chapter sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta close the book too and just go live with it. Just go live with what's in your mind, not with the ideas of the author per se. Because I believe that another aspect to the art of reading is that you're having a conversation with the author through the author's characters, through the plot, setting, and tone. And if you take your time and let it mull over in your mind and go about your day, you'll start to slowly see yourself becoming sharper and building a more solidified viewpoint that you have, and even sometimes you may approach a piece of literature with a certain viewpoint, and that's okay as well. And you can slowly start to see that viewpoint dissolve into something grander and sharper, and sometimes it could be totally the opposite of what you approached it with, and that's okay because that means you're growing as a person, and your ideologies or your beliefs or whatever may have you, and you may have been holding on to something for decades that was you and your identity, but this conversation through this literature with this author has shown you a new light, and if you're sharp enough and love the growth of life and consistently transcending your being, um, I would like to imagine you want to take that in, right? And totally contradict the decades before, or maybe that ideology or that mindset and that frame of thought was useful in the time frame that you were using it in. And as you were approached with this new knowledge and this new understanding and lived it out and have this new wisdom through experience, you taking on something else. That's okay. You know what I mean? I feel like, and that's what I want to speak towards when I'm talking about these books as well as the story and the plot, and this shit is funny, sad, scary, whatever it may have you. But that's the depth that I want to get to when I'm speaking on these books that I've read or am going to read, and also having a space to share a conversation with whomever may be watching and want to comment, or even have a conversation as well, in whatever form, may it be a video or audio or whatever, whomever. Usually with people that I know already. I don't want to talk to too many strangers in person. Sometimes, but or it's not that I don't talk to strangers. I don't want to be on a platform such as this as my form of expression, inviting strangers. That's what I mean. I'll talk to strangers all day. Yeah, so that's what it's going to be about. Got many different things. I'm probably going to start it off with one of these by Khalil Gibran, one of the greatest poets, but he's from Lebanon. Lebanese poet, moved over to the U.S. I'll go into his whole history in an episode. I'll be reading some of the parables, some pieces of the parables and poems that touch me the most, and then diving into them here and there, and then leaving you with that. Yeah, I don't recommend books to anybody that I don't know, by the way, because if I don't care for you, I'm not recommending shit to you, because I don't want somebody I usually don't want nobody recommending nothing to me, because I find my own things in my own time. And that'll be a whole nother episode about how I come across the books that I come across in due time. And also, I truly don't value people's tastes these days at all in many forms of art. So, yeah, I don't need recommendations, nor do I want to give any. I'm just sharing the things that I indulge in. And I'm going to express myself here in a way that I please with the things that I indulge in when it comes to the art of literature. Now, to close this out, what do I want to say? Oh yeah, lastly, the last thing that sparked this was something that I thought of again this morning, which was something that I read. It was like an article or something that I read that reminded me of something that I already knew about the internet, and which I love too. All the artsy stuff, literature, this and that. Man, I love technology and the internet. Don't get it twisted. I grew up on the internet. I didn't grow up on the internet. Don't get me wrong. I was outside. I wasn't raised by the internet. I was raised by my parents, my family, and I was outside. But I grew up with the internet coming to be what it is today, where you wasn't on it too much to where it was creating your identity, but you was on it enough to go on there and have fun. And it was raw. The internet was raw. Crazy. Wasn't policed like that. Wasn't about mass surveillance as it is today. Wasn't about advertisement and manipulation as much as it is today. And people shared their full raw opinions on there, and you had true forums where you went and learned from real people that really had skin in the game of life, because now everybody's living vicariously through the next motherfucker and selling courses and articulating on things that they've never done in their existence, but they can make it look away, right? And a lot of people, old, young, same age as me, whatever may have you, they have a hard time seeing through the BS, and it's pretty sad. And there's there's billions of dollars going into research and development of how to further manipulate people on the internet because people lack critical thinking skills, and literacy. And literacy is not just being able to read and write. It's also from what I learned from this book called Future Shock out by Alvin Toffler, I believe his name is. He said that the illiterate of the future are going to be, he wrote this book, mind you, in like 1970 or something, or maybe even earlier, I forget. But he said the illiterate people of the future are not going to be the ones that can't read or write. It's going to be the people that can't learn, unlearn, and relearn something. And was definitely true. It speaks truth to now for sure. People have a hard time learning in the first place, let alone unlearning something that they've learned before. As I spoke to prior about having ideologies and then you coming into some new information and not falling victim to cognitive dissonance, which is when you're approached with new information, you want to reject it even though that it is true, because if you want to hold on to what it is that you believed in before you were approached with this new information or newer experience or whatever may have you. So I'm roundabout to end it off to say that the last thing that sparked me was seeing and being reminded that about the dead internet theory, which is a theory that is a truth that the internet has a lot of space taken up by these bots that aren't real people. They're just programs here to generate content, generate just like tweets, generate Facebook posts, generate Instagram posts. And it's not only just an AI thing or whatever. It's like, well, it is an AI thing, artificial. But so they're here to just generate mass hysteria sometimes, just generate ideologies, generate political points of view, like all type of stuff, right? And just generate certain forms of conversation. And you think you're interacting with groups of people, but it's really just a bunch of bots, like just computer programs just on there, just spewing all type of different information to capture people's attention and see which way they can sway them here or there. And when that came back to my mind this morning after reading the article a while back and knowing about it years prior, that because I saw something that said Twitter is about 70% of it is like bots and it's not real. And I love Twitter, X, whatever people want to call it. I like it a lot. It's microblogging. I learned so much stuff on there. There's so much madness on there as well, but such is life, right? I learned so much from life. But there is bots walking among us in life. We call them NPCs, non-player characters, where they're just moseying on about. You know what I mean? And you gotta, not that you gotta interact with them, but you're gonna come into contact with them here or there, and you just gotta know how to maneuver out their situation. Their brain isn't their own. Like they they can't think for themselves. They move in hive minds. If you ever been to the Pacific Northwest before, it's like being in the that corporate area where the Seattle, like where the spheres are at and all the Amazon buildings and all that kind of stuff. It's like that, but on a mass scale. Yeah, I really hate Seattle a lot. That area, not Seattle people, I don't know people, but that area, that corporate mind area of bots and drones moving along. And yeah, I'm gonna go off on a random tangent if I get into that, but that's kind of what the talks are gonna be about people lacking soul, not interacting with too much soul, and you can see it in the conversations and relations that people have with each other, or that you may have with people. And I can speak on shit that I've had with people and probably do have and trying to get rid of with people that just lack soul, that you can't see behind their eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's what it's gonna be about. We're gonna see how it go. Well, it's gonna go. I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't give a fuck. Because if it's dead internet theory and it's also leaking out into our actual real world, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do because I'm gonna be an actual person and I got a soul that I'm here to express through my life and whatever other forms of art or whatever other mediums of the art that is life that I see fit. So yeah, we gonna see, bitch.